Hello everybody, welcome to Overdungeon. This should be the second episode that actually makes it on the internet. And we'll be using the same settings as last one. I have to issue some corrections on what I was complaining about in the last one. We didn't actually run into a bug, but the relic has been nerfed so that if you use it to turn overload into overdraw, then the cards that overload actually exhaust and get taken out of your deck. So we have learned something new, and we will now use that knowledge to hopefully become better at the game. First few enemies are always easy, and now we can try to build a deck. I don't really like the dog summoning card, but I've never used it to its full potential, so let's try to build a deck around it. Which means we will need a lot of money to take cards out of our deck, so we are not going to upgrade it just yet. Instead we'll try to get through everything with only the bare essentials for as long as possible. If we hit that guy now, we skip on next turn, so we want to save that. Yeah, it should be fine. We'll use the alpaca again, and now we can use... Oh, we don't have it yet. Use the big spell to finish him off. Let's see, we want as few cards in our deck as possible. At least that's what I'm imagining the build to look like once it's up and running. We might need some card draw, but other than that, it's all gonna be relying on this little dog here. I think we have to kill something. Next turn we might get attacked, but we'll just tank the damage. Never mind. We don't even have to worry about that. First few enemies, I think they've become easier since I played this game last. Pretty good cards. We could have gone for a spell heavy, attack heavy kind of strategy, but might not be necessary. We're gonna take the event because it might just let us take a card out of the deck. This one gives us a ton of money, but it adds a useless card, which we do not want. We'll pick up the relic. The relic that gives us extra cards if we don't play animals. So we might think about not playing animal cards, but since our whole strategy relies on it, this is not always going to be possible. Actually, we can do it this time because we can just kill one of the attackers off, which eliminates the need for a taunt. Now, the dog summoner is getting into gear. Every time we use that card, it summons more and more dogs. So it looks very friendly and unassuming when you play it first. It just plays one dog onto the battlefield. We actually just skip the turn, we don't want to play that card. And we try to go and summon more dogs. Now we're already summoning 6 dogs. It's a slow roll right now. And that is mostly because we need more cards in the deck. We could afford to skip this turn because we've got a alpaca on the field. And the cannon tower will slowly finish off the enemy, just before we can play the next dog. Now this relic adds an alpaca onto the board, which is great. I kinda want to pick up the magic barrier, but I've pretty much committed to the strategy I've talked about, so we're not gonna do that. We really need the shop, but RNG is not in our favor. We haven't gotten the shop. So this game might end up in failure, which is fine, you cannot win them all. Definitely taking some damage here. Oh wow, it didn't split. That's an issue right there. Now it split. We missed the dog this turn around, which is terrible. And we are going to win this fight, but it's looking kind of bad. That's mostly because we're skipping on all the extra cards that we could be adding to a deck. Still, I want to see this through. We're gonna take the event and hope we can remove a card. Choose and delete one card from 3 random cards in the deck. So we will definitely remove a strike. Do we want to remove the alpaca so we have less animal cards? We have absolutely nothing that taunts, so the alpacas are actually kind of vital for us. We will upgrade this. So now it summons... Oh, this can be upgraded any number of times and it upgrades every time you play it, so they changed how it works a little bit. So we're just gonna be upgrading this card over and over and over. We're going to be trying to draw as many cards as possible, so we will actually skip the turn now so we can draw an extra. This is a very dangerous strategy, by the way. I think we have to play this. Ouch! Okay, we're taking 80 damage. Yeah. Luckily we are playing on easy. So we should be fine. We're gonna try and let the cannons finish it off, which is a bit sad. But it's starting to work out in our favor. Taking a little bit of extra damage, which will all be healed. So no worries there. And the cannons finish it off. The dog strategy still isn't working. To be fair, it's not a very good strategy. This doubles our animals in range. With this, we draw additional animal cards. We just need extra draws. This seems fine. The Tiara of Prosperity, extra draw 1. Your animal strength increases by 10%, so we get an extra draw every turn. And here we've got it, the perfect shop. We've been evading the campfires. We actually should have gone for the campfires. I will not continue making that mistake. And already we summoned the second pack of dogs. Actually, this horse card is a bit of an issue because it adds cards to our deck if we are not careful. So I will have to be very careful about using it. So right now we have a ton of cards in the deck. So we could actually afford using it. But right now we only have one card, so if we use it now, it'll replace all the non-animal cards that it cannot, all the animal cards that it cannot draw with horses and add them to our deck. So we'll try to have that not happen. This summons a ton of sheep. Summon 2 sheep for each sheep on the battlefield. It's an animal card, and we kind of shot ourselves in the foot when we got this. So I think we need more animal cards to balance it out. And luckily, this card also gives us a kind of exponential growth. Gives opening to one building. We don't really want that. Yeah, we just want to remove a card. At this point, we're getting rid of the mortar. It's a weird deck we have. We should have enough animals, so this is not an issue. Come on, give me sheep. Yeah, sheep please. We are at exactly 0 cards in our deck, so that horse card wouldn't draw anything. Yeah, the sheep card's exponential growth actually kind of overtakes the dogs. Can now use it to draw cards. This is working out. Just need to remove a few cards from our deck, and we've got a combo going. Whenever you add an animal card to your deck, it is upgraded. Sadly, this is too late. So the game just fed us a really good relic, which we kind of cannot use. Though adding 1 or 2 animal cards is not the worst thing that could happen to us, because we're still gonna be able to use the draw card that adds horses, so there's still a possibility there to make it work. I'm always drawing the horse at the wrong time. I think we are just a little bit unlucky with our draws right now. But once that stuff stops, we are gonna be doing well. And slowly we are summoning more and more dogs, so the dogs are actually starting to help us. Yeah, this should just give us 2 horses. Yeah, I was just testing it. You have 0 cards in the deck, that one's useless. Don't want any of this. Even the upgraded elephant isn't really tempting at this point. You want to remove another card. Ignore the first overload in each combat. Do we have any overload? This one. So this is a useful relic. We remove a strike. Actually, let's just remove the overstrike. And I don't think we'll get another shop. We might, but I don't think we will, so we will take the rebirth egg, which produces chicks every time an animal dies that is not a chick. So we've got a little chick factory, which is great. Now we don't actually want to upgrade this, because we will draw 3 cards with it and it'll become even harder to actually use. Instead we will just continue upgrading the dog summoner to give it a little bit of a kickstart. So now it summons 10 dogs on the first attempt. So we got 10 dogs right out of the gate. Some alpacas to keep us alive. This should draw 2 cards from the deck, yep. The sheep were a little bit late, so they don't start multiplying, which is a bit sad. But the dogs are definitely doing their job, keeping us in the game. Ideally, we want to play the sheep card when there's sheep on the board. Again, we were a bit late with it. We have so few cards in the deck at this point that the dogs are really starting to multiply. And what looked to be a little garbage crap card is actually doing work at this point. Wow, look at this. There's just nothing the enemy can do. I mean, it exhausts, so it doesn't muck up our deck. And this one gives us extra card draw. These are both very tempting. I guess this only adds one animal. So it's not exponential, so we don't need it. But the card draw... And overload transforms to overdraw. This exhausts anyway. And this is more of an issue than it is an asset. So now that we know how this relic works, we might as well pick it up. Because now it's helping us by removing a problem card from the deck. Should have gone towards the fireplace, but I kind of want to see what the event is. So now this should draw some cards and remove itself from the deck. This elixir pump that we just built is gonna draw us even more cards, but on the next turn we're gonna be... Oh right, we've got the relic that doesn't overdraw, so it's basically only beneficial. So we draw an extra card every turn. Could have put the sheep in the back, but I just want to kill the enemy at this point. Look at all those sheep and all those dogs. Feels like we're drawing them every round now. Oh, okay, the game is starting to struggle. This is wonderful. We don't want to add any cards? No, thank you. We are just fine with the small deck. Oh damn it, we're missing the sub too. I'll take the relic. This one upgrades cards sometimes. That's actually great, but it's a bit late in the game to get it because it's only a 25% chance each combat, so it's not as good as it sounds. Probably shouldn't have put alpacas on top of the sheep, but what is done is done. Now we're getting some extra sheep. There we go. All the monsters the opponent spawns are keeping us on our toes. But now we should be good. Now we got a big chunk of sheep. And another big chunk of sheep. Yeah. Upgrading the dogs as well. More sheep. Okay, we drew sheep 3 times in a row, so this is game. It was game even before that, but you know what I mean. You do like some overkill in your games. Now, the Forge, awesome card, absolutely useless for our deck. We will skip it. Try to stay kind of in the middle so we can react a little better than we did. Our deck could actually be even more powerful than it is now, if we had paid a little bit of attention there. At this point I can start spawning the sheep up front, because we don't need them to survive anymore. There's enough of them that they can keep exponentially multiplying. Yeah, we wanted to show off the dogs in this build, but the sheep card is rarer and it's just plain stronger. So I guess this has become a sheep game, which is fine. We do like to add the barrier generator just for some extra safety. It exhausts itself so it doesn't clog up our deck. Summon one additional... This is a legendary relic. How do we get access to this? Summon one additional unit when animal card summons one animal. As if our deck wasn't insane enough. We gain another relic if we lose 20% HP. It's a useless one that just gives us some intelligence. Obtain one card. We don't want to obtain cards, thank you. Instead we will go to the shop and remove another card from the deck. Now it's all some buildings that exhausted themselves and animal cards, which is exactly what we would like. These upgrades do nothing. We will summon the dogs again. 15 dogs now. Actually, does it add... It adds one more dog every upgrade, so the next one would add 6 dogs. Okay. So if we had upgraded the dog card more, I think that one might be carrying us as well. We just didn't do it right. I apologize for my lack of insight, but I have learned... And I vow to do better next time we try this. Definitely need some alpacas here. Making sure not to play the horse card because we don't have any cards in the deck. Don't want to add any horses. It's still a bad time to play it. Even though there's only an animal card in the deck left, I think. Yeah. Would have been an animal card. Has our deck become too small for the horse card to be useful? I think it has. We're just drawing everything but one card every turn now. So I guess the next card we would be removing would be the extra draw card, funnily enough. But this was the last boss. I almost didn't even notice, we were completely overpowered. Let's look at some remembrance screenshots. I think these are the bosses that it's screenshots. So the first we kind of barely beat with actually with mortars to help us out. The second one we were already quite well versed in dog upgrades. And some sheep were starting to rear their heads. Then the last one, the sheep took over and ruined everything. So that's a Slay the that's an Overdungeon run. Can't even say the name correctly because it just reminds me of the other game so much. That was a fun one. Thank you guys for watching. Hope I'll see you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, that's it for me. Have a nice day.